Yo yo yo! Welcome guys back to channel. Maverick here with episode 10 of Dorohedoro. So last episode where we left off, we were at a pretty important conjecture point, right? We found out that In found out who Nikaidou was. Somewhat anyways, at least he knows that Nikaidou is someone who uses time travel magic, or time related magic, temporal magic if you will, and he has to use his abilities to spawn some mushroom monsters back in Hull. And I suspect that is probably going to drive Nikaidou to get to the Sorcerer's World yet again, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. Right. We got some other things brewing around as well. Risu got his body back, and of course, Kaiman is always the X factor. But for now, let's see how she deals with En's mushrooms. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Eesh. Oh. Ooh. Damn. The doctor's dead? Oh, no, he turned into a mushroom. Oh, damn. Go, Johnson, go! Can Johnson turn into a mushroom? Oh. Oh, she's getting her mask. Alright. We're about to see her true powers. Yeah! Woohoo! Well, I mean, in the end, what was the point of using mask if she's still using her martial arts? Oh, there's a door. Damn, they're all here. Ooh. Hey, the whole crew is in the Sorcerer's World. That's fun. No, but I do wonder though, like, does putting on a mask also, in some ways, enhance Sorcerer's physical prowess? Yeah, she didn't really use any magic there, right? So what was stopping her from doing what she did right there, before? Mushrooms and meat. By the way, I don't think I mentioned this before, but the openings and endings, the various theme songs, you guys can search on YouTube, and they're all uploaded there. I don't think the full songs are out yet, but at least the anime openings and ending versions are. Like I said, No Name are a really talented group. They really deserve a lot more recognition. I think they're getting there, though. Lonely Kaiman. So all the devils stay at the same house? All the devils are here. Is it because for Nikaidou? Dang, she's like VVVIP. Just what does being a partner mean? Nice censorship there. Oh. There's... She's about to stir up some trouble, isn't she? What the fuck? Okay, I thought I had seen a lot of things before, but even that took me by surprise. Oh my god. What? I... I have no words. And just like that, she became N's partner? So like, what does that actually entail? Oh. They didn't actually make it on time. Yeah. This is one chill dude. But what is exactly her magic? I love how Kaiman is just like doing whatever. Oh, this is Risu's memories, right? Is that how he died? Yeah, these are probably his former memories, right? Zombie time. Hmm. Probably past memories. Kaiman, you're hopeless. Hmm. The prison. Scary munch. Oh. Hmm. Devil Manju. Right? What? Why was he taken in? Because oh, he does know him. Just like that. That. Oh. I guess this would be one of the wardens. Ah, it's us. Hmm. All right, let's go, Kaiman. He's mafia. But I guess he has a little control over that power. Damn. Yeah, this is a stand-up guy. Oh, cockroach versus cockroach. Oh. Damn. Who knew? I guess the cockroaches in Sorcerer Worlds are a bit different from what one expected. Mm. Asu might get into trouble over this as well. Oh. Huh. Wouldn't it work both ways? Probably doesn't work very well if she doesn't have black smoke. Oh shit. Well, well, well. Is this another ending song? Holy crap. Oh, this is the original one. Alright. Well, see you guys after this. Alrighty, so as usual, I'll start by talking about some stuff from the chapters of the manga that this episode was adapted from. And again, you could call it spoilers, maybe not, but it's things that probably the anime is not going to mention again, or perhaps mention a little bit later, though that's dubious considering that we are very nearing the end now. So you can consider this a spoiler, or just consider this stuff more supplementary information, right? As a precaution, I will still hold up my spoiler finger, so if you guys really don't want to hear anything about it, just wait until I put my finger down. So, first of all, in the manga, we actually went through and talked a little bit about Risu's viewpoint and his past, and more specifically, Aikawa, right, his dear friend. We know that they were both enrolled in school together, and they were close buddies even back then. Risu, actually, it's been confirmed, he can't really use magic. Aikawa can use some magic. Risu can't use magic at all, and that is why he is associating himself with the Crossed Eyes, right? Apparently, the Crossed Eyes are sort of experimenting how to let people like Risu, who can't use magic, have a place in this sorcerer's world. And so that is why Risu is doing some errands for them. He believes that they are going to be his salvation. Aikawa is much more suspicious of this whole thing and doesn't really want Risu to associate with the Crossed Eyes, right? And speaking of which, I believe Milk Plus and some other commenters as well have been saying that you guys think Aikawa and Kaiman are the same people, and it's not actually Risu and Kaiman. And I think that theory really holds a lot of validity, especially looking at how Aikawa fights and his entire demeanor and whatnot within the manga. So that is definitely something to take note of. And there's another reason as well, which I'll get to in a moment here. And then another thing is when they were going to the prison and whatnot, so it is explained that most of the people who go to prison, because, you know, killing people doesn't really seem to be that big of a deal in this Sorcerer's World or in Hell as well. So the main reason that people will get thrown into prison and eventually sent to hell is actually because of blasphemy to the devils, right? Which is quite funny. And so the guy who said he was in prison for selling the devil's manjus, well, it's because he used the devil's name, and that is why he was thrown into jail. So just a little bit of fluff and flair there, but I did find it kind of funny, right? This is, you know, our logic really doesn't really work on this world or whole either, so it's quite funny. But one more important thing that I don't think the anime really showed clearly was that when the guy was sent to hell, before that, he actually had some things appearing within his hands, right? Now in the manga, it actually shows that Kaima and the others were able to retrieve these hands, and they were able to sort of make out that there was a face there, although it's not quite clear, what that face actually is. Now apparently that face is perhaps the boss of the Crossed Eyes, but even in the manga, it's not shown very clearly who that guy actually looks like. But I just thought that might be something. It's kind of a key point here that the anime doesn't really continue to doesn't really show them having this clue, right? And I suspect it's because we're probably not going to be touching anything in regards to that with the next 2 episodes nearing the end of the season, but still, that is something to take note of. Another important thing that was mentioned in the manga, and in fact as a sort of like a side chapter sort of thing, it's sort of like a how can I say it? It's sort of like a filler chapter, but not really, talking about some of the daily lives and some happenings in En's mansion and whatnot. But one important piece of information that came out of it was that apparently if several layers of magic are cast on the same person, that person can actually turn magic resistant, right? So the case of Kaiman. And so that in itself is also a big clue. So Kaiman's situation apparently is not just a simple case of somebody turning him into a lizard man, right? Apparently it's much more than that, and this is why it also goes back with the point where it could be possible that Kaiman is actually Aikawa, right? The current Kaiman that we see, he's the result of some very complex magic manipulation, many layers of magic being put on him. So that is why this whole thing is very it's very complicated. It's not easy to just guess directly what exactly happened to him, right? And that's, I think, something that we're not going to get to the end of, even within the next few volumes of the manga as well. And as for the final point here, because, like I said, I was looking through the chapters that the episode adapted, but sometimes it's not a complete one-for-one adaptation, so I was kind of spoiled by what happened at the very end there, in regards to Doctor, right? And I'm not gonna say anything, but all I can say is, try to recall Shin's backstory, right? And that should be enough hint from me. Alright, so that was everything. I feel like that was more important from the manga that was not specifically mentioned in the anime. So let's talk about this this episode in particular, right? So first of all, I was quite hoping to see Nikaido's magic, but unfortunately that did not happen. With that being said, I feel like perhaps the hand-to-hand combat abilities of these sorcerers are also enhanced by magic to a certain extent. At least I feel like when Nikaido actually put on her mask, her physical fighting prowess actually increased as well. And I guess it kind of makes sense considering that the smoke that's being used by these sorcerers, it actually runs through their veins, right? It's internal to their body. So I guess maybe enhancing the smoke can also enhance their physical abilities in some sort of fashion, right? So I guess that's why her donning her mask allowed her to really take on the mushroom creature instead. So it sort of enhances her already strong fighting capabilities. But I was actually hoping that she would use some of her time magic. That I do hope that we'll see at least some of it before the end of this season. Another thing that actually it's sort of unique to the anime, I guess you could say, is that they sort of changed around the events that happened. So the events of last episode actually should have happened somewhere near here. Specifically, for instance, Shin and Noi meeting up with each other, finally finding each other, as well as the entire scene between Ebisu and Fujita, and it turning out that Ebisu was the one who applied to be Fujita's partner. That actually happened near the time when Nikaido was captured by In, and they all managed to gather, everyone and make it to the house, the floating, I think it's called the Black House, right before the end of the Blue Night. Right, and it was quite funny. In the manga they actually showed the layout of the house as well, which. And it's like I said, it's just a very unique sort of world, a unique kind of setting. It really doesn't make much logical sense whatsoever, but that's okay, right? And I was sort of bummed that they didn't go further into the benefits of being partners, right? Like, why is this such a big deal? Especially in the case where they have a mutual sort of understanding with each other. Like, why it's a big deal? Is it more for symbolic reasons, or is there an actual benefit, an actual boon to this entire thing? Now, in Nikaido's and N's case, that's clear to see, right? And has stated that since this is an unwilling contract, you're actually able to do you're actually able to control their mind to a certain extent with this kind of contract. Now, I do wonder, however, whether or not this works in reverse, right? So, considering that contracts seem to be, it seems to be a cookie cutter type of contract, right? It's just one type. There's no customization or whatnot. Theoretically, it would mean that what anything N can do to Nikaido, Nikaido can do back to N, right? So I do wonder if that's going to be a key to what's going to happen in the future, because obviously Nikaido is not going to be always, she's not going to be under N's control forever, right? And in fact, I think she's probably going to fight back to it alongside Kaiman before the end of this season. So I wonder if that is actually going to be a major point in her breaking free. And by the way, like I gotta say, you guys saw my reaction in the episode as well. I did not expect that method of signing a contract at all. Like, literally putting a door handle to your chest and then opening it up and then seeing the heart and the rib cage and whatnot inside. Like, that, I gotta say, I've been... I don't think I've been this surprised by a particular scene in such a long time, right? That completely caught me off guard, and I love it. Like I said, the art style and the aesthetic of this manga, of this anime, are just so unique, and that is a huge draw to why I'm loving this so much, right? It's, not only it has a coherent story, likable characters and whatnot, but really the aesthetic, the world building, the world setting of this particular work, it's just fantastic. And that thing is, that was great. That was such a great scene. Totally caught me off guard, but 2 thumbs up for me. Anyways, like I said, we are nearing the end of this season, so we're probably, in terms of manga, we're going to be concluding with the end of Volume 6. I don't know, perhaps in the future, if, Season 2 isn't directly announced or something, I might just continue reading on with this particular manga. It has been a huge drain on me to hold myself not to spoil myself by reading ahead on the manga, because I really want to see what happens next. But I like to do these episodes blind, so at least I'll wait until the end of this season. And for the next 2 episodes, well, I wonder what exactly Kaiman can do, right? Obviously, he's going to try to save Nikaido, but, how exactly is he going to do it, right? N himself is super strong, right? We literally just learned of that today in this episode. And then Shin and Noi as well, like... In the past, Kaiman couldn't even get past them, right? Let alone the full force of N's family. So, how exactly is he gonna do it? What is he going to do in order to get Nikaido back? I seriously have my doubts about all this. But apparently, he's the protagonist, right? Something's gonna happen here. So I really can't guess what is going to happen. Is he gonna set up an ambush or something? I don't know, but anyways, we'll see that in the next episode, right? So, I will see you guys next week as well. Until then, bye-bye.